Okay, recording has begun. You're all set.
Okay, good evening, everybody. This is a virtual meeting of the Town New Canaan Charter Revision Commission, Group One, and tonight we are meeting jointly with the Inland Waterland Commission, Inland Wetlands Commission. Um, so the first order of business, we'll call the roll. Angela Jameson
You're on
You're
Zoom.
here. Steve Case.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. This is Angela Jameson. I'm present, but I'm here just as a member of the Inland Wetlands Commission.
Right, you are on the other side of the table for today. Right.
Steve
Steve
Case
Case?
from the CRC is here.
Okay. Joe Paulo.
Present.
Okay. Everybody from our meeting is here. The meeting is called to order. First order of business are minutes from previous meetings, but in the interest of time, I would like to suspend that item and move it to our next regular meeting on Wednesday. May I have a motion to that effect?
I so
So
motion.
Okay. All in
Second.
favor? Fine.
Aye.
All right.
Fine.
So let's dive right in with our colleagues here from Inland Wetlands. So we sent around some questions that are in no particular order. A set of questions have been developed by the Charter Revision Commission to guide our conversations. So, I'll ask the first question and get us started. And just if I've got you all on screen here, so if you put your hands up, we can kind of go in that order. There's no need, I think, to mute our mics. I don't know if that's going to be necessary. So, generally, the question is, so what has been your experience as members of the Inland Wetlands Commission working within the framework of the existing charter, New Canaan Charter? Angela.
So, first of all, thank you very much for inviting the Inland Wetlands Commission to come and share our thoughts with you about the town charter and what, if anything, needs to be revised. The Inland Wetlands Commission was included in the town charter for the first time 10 years ago. And I think it was a very good thing that it was. New Canaan, as a municipality of the state of Connecticut, is required under Chapter 440 of the Connecticut General Statutes to establish an inland wetlands agency. And New Canaan has done that, the Inland Wetlands Commission. So I think for a commission that has to exist under state law, it's important that it's included in the town charter. I see the town charter not just as a legalistic document that lawyers and folks who work at town hall look at, but something that town residents can really look at themselves and see what the framework is for town government and understand it. And for that reason, I think that including a commission like the Inland Wetlands Commission in the town charter is a good thing. And I have not had any problems with how it's been included. I do have some sort of small technical things that I'd like to suggest, but I don't want to do that up front. Let's, keep to the bigger issues first. Thank you.
Okay. Any other general comments anybody would like to make about
This is Joe.
the way it works and what you guys what your experience has been with the charter if in your work on your commission on inland wetlands? No other comments?
I don't know.
Commissioner Paulo has a question.
Thank you. Just a reminder that the inland wetland team is free to comment on any part of the charter, not just the part that specifically relates to inland wetlands.
Well, let me ask a question. This is Dan. I went through the 17 questions, and it was my understanding that we would just go down that list and answer those and comment on those. So we are doing something other than that? Is that?
No, we can follow that. That's a useful way to approach it and see where the conversation goes. So the next question would be, do you think the current charter adequately serves the town's needs? What aspects work well and what may need improvement? So this is a general question on your views on the charter as a whole, not just as it pertains to the IWC. Comments?
I would say it serves its purpose, and at least every decade it should be edited and updated, right? As we learn more and what's best practices and kind of what's standard with other towns, what works and what doesn't. But yeah, so far, I don't think there's anyone, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I don't know that the current charter has come into anything that we've done for any of the discussions since I've been a member of the Inland Wetlands Commission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is Dan. I agree with that. I've been on the commission for over 30 years, and it really hasn't come up more than once or twice, and that was way back when. So, obviously, and reviewing it today for the first time in maybe a while, there are certainly things on there that we follow, quorums, it seems to me that what we need most as a wetlands is good people. We want to, and they don't need to be people that are educated in biology, but it's good, creative, curiosity type people to ask good questions. So that's the kind of thing that I think we need, the wetlands from New Canaan and the charter, is making sure we're able to recruit good people. So that's kind of my opening statement there. And if there's anything else you want to ask me, go ahead.
Angela.
So thank you. Since question 2 relates more widely to the way the charter operates overall and not just in relation to inland wetlands, just a couple of things that I will observe. I think that there are grounds for looking at the way in which certain functions of town government are outside the orbit of town hall and the Board of Selectmen. This will come as no surprise to many of you, but I think we need to have a discussion on how town clerk, town treasurer interrelates with the Board of Selectmen and the First Selectman's office. I also think that we should have a discussion about the important police and fire commissions and the extent to which the First Selectman and or the Board of Selectmen are not currently involved in any way in reporting lines there. I could go on at more length, but I know I'll have other opportunities to do that.
So let me, your point is that there are certain functions of the town government which are outside the framework of the charter?
Not at the framework of the charter, but the orbit of town hall, the First Selectman and the Board of Selectmen.
What does orbit mean?
I'm sorry?
What does orbit mean?
What it actually means in practice is there are no reporting lines to the Board of Selectmen and the First Selectman, except in relation to the appointment of members of the police and fire commissions and absolutely no lines dotted or other way in relation to the town clerk and the town treasurer, both of whom are elected.
And of course, the board of finance would be in that list. They're not connected to anyone.
Well,
All
that
right, can you say that again? That didn't come through.
I said the board of finance, as shown on the organization chart that's shown in the current budget and has been in the budget for the last 5 years, it does not connect to anyone either. So by pointing out that the town clerk and the treasurer, for example, don't, which is correct, I'm saying this one also is part of the list. That's all.
Thank you.
Any other thoughts?
I have lots of thoughts, but they relate to questions lower down, and I
All
think
right, let's move on.
Dan hit something that's really
All right, does the town charter adequately set out the responsibilities of your body?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's kind of a given, right? Since
well, actually, Angela, is this a time for me to go into the nitty-gritty of some things that I've come up with as I've reviewed the town charter in relation to inland wetlands? So,
go for it.
okay, go for it. I think it's terrific that inland wetlands is included in the town charter. But if you really want to know all the foundational organizational rules and regulations for this commission, you not only have to look at the town charter, but you have to look at the ordinance, which was actually passed way before the last revision of the town charter. For example, the first selectman is an ex officio member of inland wetlands. The town charter doesn't explicitly say that. And in the event of a tie, the first selectman has a vote. The town engineer is an ex officio member of inland wetlands, but does not have a vote. That is all great. I'm not making any issue about the substance, but I think something as foundational as that should be in the charter itself. And I understand that the town charter should not be too long, but I think given that we have legislative authority, the Inland Wetlands Commission given to us by the state of Connecticut, and that is in relation to making inland wetland and watercourses regulations, it would be nice to just add to the current statement, the Inland Wetlands Commission shall have all the powers and limitations of inland wetland commissions as established under general statutes. And I would add, including the authority to make inland wetlands and watercourses regulations for the town.
All right, I'll ask you to send that suggestion along.
I can do that. I mentioned already about it would be nice to specify the ex officio members and what they can and can't do. It also the town charter states that no member of inland wetlands may hold any other office in town government, while the ordinance states that no member may hold any other office in town, county, or state governments. Well, of course, we don't have counties anymore in Connecticut. That just shows how old this ordinance is. But does that mean that under the town charter, someone who had a position at the state level could actually serve on the Inland Wetlands Commission? The ordinance would lead you to believe that that isn't the case. So which takes precedence? And I think it would be good to look at the ordinance in some detail, because it's telling us to do things that, are a bit more detailed than in the town charter. So the town charter states that the chair should seat an alternate if a regular member is absent or recuses him or herself. The ordinance states that the chair should select alternates in rotation, and that if an alternate is not available in the rotation, this should be noted in the minutes. I raised the question about whether those requirements should be in the town charter.
Well, you're talking about pomp and circumstance for every commission, so not just inland wetlands. If they're addressing this for us, they're going to have to expand the charter to address every commission regulated to, how it relates to charters in the state, right? Or regulations.
Well,
I think the
precisely.
town
I do.
charter
I
should
do
be-
think.
The town charter should be relatively simple, in my opinion. And then if different commissions, land use commissions, have other regulations, it's up to us and, Director Holland or other directors to tell the commission members, you need to understand these regulations. Otherwise, the town charter would be a million pages.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Right.
a little bit like the federal government, right? You have a constitution with 25 amendments, and then you have 300,000 pages of federal laws and regulations. So, they're two different things.
Right,
May I-
and I understand that we don't want the town charter to become too long or complex, but I do think that there needs to be some review of the extent to which what's said about various commissions and boards in the town charter is consistent. It's all over the place at the moment, in my view.
So okay, I understand.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
The suggestion was made that perhaps inland wetlands should take on the function of developing the regulations. And my question is, who currently does that function?
We do. We have authority from the state to make regulations, and
Right.
that is what we've done.
I didn't understand your point. I think you were talking about possibly expanding that somehow. Maybe I'm
No, not expanding it, but you see, nobody knows that we have that authority to do it. And I would like to see a town charter that isn't too long, but that is very clear to any person who looks at it exactly what the foundational structure of different government bodies is.
And that's already in the state statutes, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Yep.
you.
Yeah.
Angela, that could also be on the website, Inland Wetlands Commissions or land use, just so anyone going there sees it. But that's
that's
more
true.
marketing or educational than charter.
Okay. We're about halfway through the time we've allotted to this. And I think in the interest of letting people get to some of the questions that they wanted to found most interesting, why don't we just open it up to put forward your ideas as they come up. If we follow this, we'll be here for an hour and a half, and you don't want that.
I'd love to put through 3 ideas, and then
All right.
I'll stop sucking the air out of the room. But size of commissions, which is 8, number 8. I personally think it's very hard to find good candidates. I mean, everyone on the line right now is a very good candidate in our commission. These people were not easy to find, right? A lot of times the RTC or the DTC argues over, we need more of this or more of that. In fact, you just need good candidates. So I don't know that the size is it seems to be large to me. And I think maybe if it was smaller, it would be easier to fill the spots. I'm happy to, have arguments about that, but I think it's very hard to fill all the spots that we have. I don't know about other commissions.
Do you currently have any vacancies, or are you fully staffed?
For alternates, yes.
Oh, you have vacancies for alternates?
Well, actually, the Board of Selectmen did approve a new appointment in January, early January, but we're waiting for that individual to take his oath and then come to the meeting. So he's not here tonight.
Okay. So, but if that were the case, you'd have no vacancies.
Correct.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's when you're trying to find a candidate, it's pretty easy to find people that want to be fire or police because they want to ride around in a truck or a patrol vehicle, right? And they have 0 qualifications. And I can get into that in detail. On our commission, you have to have people that are passionate about inland wetlands and protecting the environment.
Right.
Frankly, I love our town. The majority of the town doesn't really care about it. So it's hard. I've been trying to recruit people, and I just think the size is something maybe we should consider.
Okay. Good point. Do you have anything else, Sandy?
I have two other points, but Kathleen Holland has got a comment. You're on mute there.
Yes, Kathleen.
I just want to chime in real quick. Sandy, what size would you recommend?
Probably 8.
Well, with 7, that would be
Yeah,
expanding.
you'd have to go to
Total with all.
7. You'd have to be something like 5 regular members and 2
Yep.
alternates.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a suggestion I had made in previous iterations of charter revisions as well, because of the problem of finding candidates and turnover and would it be is it advisable to go?
I'm including staff in my number and alternates, but yeah, 7. So if you had 5, I think that's more than enough.
Okay.
That's great.
Steve, did you have something?
No.
Okay. Angela?
So I have a suggestion that might make it easier to increase the talent pool from which we draw. Currently, appointments to boards and commissions are dominated very much by the political parties, and it's really quite hard in practice for unaffiliated to find a seat on a board or commission. And as the charter currently stands, it is in conformity with the maximum ceiling on party representation provided in the Connecticut statutes. But there's nothing to stop a town from actually lowering that ceiling. So for a 7-member board like the Inland Wetlands Commission, currently a maximum of 5 can be from one political party. And if that is the case, then that leaves just 2 seats for the other political party and unaffiliated to jostle over. And we now live in a town where there are more unaffiliated voters than there are voters registered to the largest party in town. I personally would like to think about having a stricture in the town charter whereby no board or commission can have more than no political party can have more than a bare majority on a board or commission. That would open up the numbers, I think, to more space for unaffiliated.
Okay.
I 100% agree. Do you guys take all this back to your committee and you talk about what works, what doesn't, and then you go up to town council, selectmen? How does it work?
The commission, the charter commission, will write a report with its recommendations and send it on to town council. Town council has to vote on it, and ultimately, and there's some back and forth between the town council and the commission, and then when that's finally decided, parts of the charter could even be presented to the voters at the next general election.
Right.
So that's kind of the process.
Can I hit my other 2 thoughts?
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
by all
And
means.
then and then I will stop.
Can I just add on to that discussion? For one,
Shoot.
This is Beth Sanford speaking, and I agree with changing the requirement in terms of the percentages of what the majority is from a party. I think that would serve the Inland Wetland Commission well. And I've been on the commission for 4 years now, and I don't even see how a political party influences how we vote. We
Mhm.
work as a team. We have all different perspectives. We collaborate. And it doesn't, in terms of thinking about the environment and protecting our wetlands, it really doesn't seem to come into play where you voted in the ballot. And the fact that we don't include unaffiliated voters, which is the majority, which is the biggest group in our town, it really seems to be an oversight.
Mhm. Okay, thank you. Okay, Sandy, you've got one more.
All right. I'm going to hit 2 points: elected versus appointed, and why don't we have a public works commission? So elected versus appointed, I would tell you that I know you'd lose me if we were elected because of my job, I can't be a public official or go through an election. And I think there's a number of people, whether they're defense contractors, whether they're security in the securities business, which a lot of people in our town are, whether they're in the asset management business, you would restrict a lot of people who are currently very, very good.
Yeah. Okay.
That would be a tough
And
one.
I agree with that. I agree 100% with that. If you have elected people, it's going to take longer to get the people in there. It may be more expensive to get the people in there. You may not, with an elected person, people can go over their bio and they may be more appropriate for the commission. But I think appointed is the way to go, the way we've been going. Yeah, I do.
And I think if you look at industry standard, I think there's only one town that I'm aware of in the state. I could be wrong, and that's Ridgefield. And, we can look at Ridgefield as it's a money game. Who's got the money to campaign? It's not how you want to have a commissioner in inland wetlands, at least.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I don't think it would attract the best candidates throughout that kind of process versus an appointment.
And I would just like to add that, elections will be dominated by political parties, whether we like it or not. It's very difficult for someone who isn't affiliated with one of the two major parties to get elected to anything in town. You need money and you need the organization of the party behind you. But over and above that, I mean, I agree with everything that everyone has said on that it is desirable for inland wetlands to remain an appointed commission. And if I couldn't have run for office when I was employed in the securities industry. I'm retired now, so I could if I wanted to, but I wouldn't run. And even if I did, I wouldn't know what platform to run on. What would they say? I have experience. I'm going to abide by the inland wetland regulations. Well, we've got to do that anyway.
All right. Thanks. That's good. Anybody else have some thoughts on any subject having to do with the charter?
Commissioner Owsley has her hand raised.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
Katie.
wanted to reiterate, elections I think are an absolute no-go. It just, we'd have no candidates eligible and or interested. And echoing Angela and Beth and others who've spoken to the role of independent voters. And I think people have spoken very articulately about how our commission is phenomenally nonpartisan. I had no idea what political party people were in until, in fact, I've been on the commission for 4 years as an alternate. And I've never moved up to a standing member because somebody from my own political party has not stepped down. And I have to say, personally, I find that incredibly frustrating. It really, I have had to work hard to sort of stay engaged and stay motivated to continue to serve because it's a super frustrating process that seems to value my political party over my background and my qualifications. So that's something that I would love to see addressed in the charter.
I have one comment. I'd like to go back to the recruiting aspect. I think recruiting has been one of the toughest things we've encountered here as a commission. There must be something that can be done to let people in the citizens to know that it's worthwhile. It's worthwhile joining a commission, maybe not necessarily wetlands, but the kind of benefits you get from that. Okay, so I do think that recruiting, since I've been on the commission, it's always been, who do we get? When do we get him or her? We need them, and so I disagree with narrowing down, reducing down the number of people on the commission, because we always have vacancies and there's always at least one or two missing. And so, and that comes down to five, or not five, but seven. But anyway, I don't like the idea of reducing the number of people down. But on the same token, if we can't get people, maybe that's the way to go.
Okay, I want to be respectful of your time for your meeting. It's now 7:30.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Labrie, but I had one more issue I wanted to address, if I
Well,
may.
as long as you guys are okay extending this maybe another 10 to 15 minutes.
Sure, and we'll try to be brief. So
Okay.
our current term is 2 years. I think that's too short. You need to build up expertise, both in relation to what is a wetland, how can it be harmed, how can it be protected, but also to understand the regulations and to get some sense of how the commission has been making decisions up to this point. I personally think it would be better if we had four-year terms.
Okay.
We're trying to recruit on one side and telling them it's a longer term on the other.
Well, people can leave whenever they want to, but I don't want anyone to overlook. No, Sandy. I don't want anybody to overlook the fact that there is a learning curve here. I mean, when I came onto the commission, I was made a regular member right off the bat because there were vacancies, and I was for that point in time, air quotes, in the right political party, end of air quotes. And I don't think that I contributed very much at all initially because I had a lot to learn. So the other thing is the 2 years goes around really quickly, and then you have to, the Board of Selectmen has to reappoint us. We have to go into the town clerk's office and swear an oath all over again. It's more administration.
Let me ask you two questions that are somewhat related. Show of hands, how many of you have been on the board more than 4 years? Okay, so quite a number. Do you have any thoughts on term limits?
I was going to actually bring up the term limits thing. Just to kind of follow up on what Commissioner Halsey was saying, for her to sit as an alternate for so long based on a political party being open, a spot being open, and for somebody being that dedicated to be an alternate for 4 years, I think she said, I think is a long time. And I would think that a rotation would probably work better. And I would think that from the educational standpoint, getting up to speed, Kathleen is a wealth of knowledge on this stuff, so she can help bring somebody up to speed very quickly who doesn't have a lot of experience. That's why, I kind of listen more than I talk because I'm still new to this. But I think having people that are interested in this, especially the unaffiliated side, would be a great way to get more people interested. Again, then it just comes down to the political parties agreeing on it, and good luck with that.
Larger, okay.
But I would agree with you if unaffiliated is reaching out to more of the, I have a relationship with the independent and unaffiliated here at Norwalk, but I don't really know who's a leader of the unaffiliated or independents in New Canaan, if there are any. But again, reaching out and creating that, or even reaching out, this is another thing I was thinking of, is starting to reach out to the high school and getting some of the younger kids that might be interested or going into environmental studies or whatever they're going into in college, and getting them as, a high school member, honorary memory member as an alternate, just to kind of have them, sit through the process and understand it a little bit better. And again, maybe that helps recruit kids down the road that end up coming back to New Canaan. So
yeah, and you get that perspective too.
Right.
Any other, Kathleen?
That's a great point that you just raised on. We need to get some young folks involved in this. There's a possibly ability in the charter to have non-voting junior members, at least to get some experience or some credits from college, things like that. I think that would be maybe a good placement. that they, learn and, come on board maybe down the line. I think that's a wonderful idea. I've have worked for 7 different selectmen currently beyond at this point in my role here with the town. I've gone through a couple of charter revision iterations through the time here, and inland wetlands actually really the portion of inland wetlands does work very well. There are some inconsistencies that maybe just could be cleaned up where I think Angela mentioned on the front end of this that the ex officio members, it's mentioned in certain sections of the charter, but maybe not consistently throughout. So whoever has that, it should just be consistent throughout. But all in all, I believe the charter really works well for in the wetlands and overall does work very well. But there's just some consistencies that need to be.
That's a good point. I would ask any member of this commission who has some thoughts as to changes in the wording of the charters. It's to send them to me. So it's chris.labrise at newcanaanct.gov. And we'll put them all together. And when we make our recommendations with respect to this particular chapter of the charter, we'll try to incorporate them all. So, send them our way. The more the input, the better, actually. Okay.
I have one more comment, and that's about an issue we may be facing in the near future, and that is climate change. Things are changing now. I think we need to be better cognizant of how that change will affect New Canaan. And I don't have any ideas, but I think that should be thought about down the road, how New Canaan is going to react to climate change, really.
Is that currently a mandate of your commission?
No.
Interesting. Okay, folks, anybody have anything else they want to add? We have a couple more minutes, or I could give it back to you.
We didn't talk about term limits, and I'm kind
of I'm
kind of interested. How are other commissions structured in terms of limiting how long you can stay?
There are no term limits in the charter of New Canaan Charter. There are some questions about whether term limits are even permitted in the state, and we're trying to get legal clarification on that. But it's just one of these popular ideas that rattles around, and so it's been raised up as a discussion point. But there are none now in the charter. Okay, folks. Oh, Steve? Oh, you were just saying bye-bye.
Yes. Thank you for your input on this commission, and I will reiterate, anything you want included, if you could just send us a note and say these would be suggested edits, it would be great.
Yeah, we'll certainly take a close look at them and do what we can with them. Well, look, we appreciate your time appending us on to your meeting. We will. I will take a motion to close the the Charter Revision Commission Group 1 meeting.
Before we close,
I have a second
question of the chair.
Voted. So we will close out the this part of the meeting. If all Charter Commission people who are either in this meeting or dialing in, please log off this meeting. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Angela, I'm going to pause the recording and just for a minute. And
very good. This is Angela Jameson, Chair of the Inland Wetlands Commission, calling the regular meeting of New Canaan Inland Wetlands Commission to order on Monday, January the 26th, 2026 at 7:40 p.m. Please would the secretary call the roll?
I will. Angela Jameson.
Present.
Sandy Redden, I am present. Beth Bernali, I believe, is absent tonight. Don Mastronardi. He was just with us, but he might have hung up and be dialing back in. So don't know about Don yet, but we'll find out in a minute. Beth Sanford.
I'm
Dan
here.
Stepanek. Dan.
Here.
Philip Williams.
Present.
Katie Owsley.
Here.
And Adam Ramirez, who was on the earlier meeting, but I believe is not able to make it tonight.
Oh, no, I'm here.
Oh, you are?
Yep.
I thought you said you and Beth had said you couldn't make it, but welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so Miss Owsley, please would you be seated for Miss Bernali?
Yes.
Is Mr. Mastronardi present?
Angela, he is not on the call.
Okay, so Mr. Ramirez, please would you be seated for Mr. Mastronardi?
I'm texting him as well.
All right. If he comes in, do I drop off?
Well, after you've been seated. So
Okay.
we either pause the meeting to see if Mr. Mastronardi is coming back, or else we just proceed with you seated in his place.
Okay.
I would suggest we just proceed. Okay, you have the agenda in front of you. Any questions, suggestions? If not, please could I hear a motion?
Motion to.
Second.
All in favor, please raise your hand. Say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? So the agenda is passed unanimously. So next item is approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on December the 15th, 2025. Does anybody have any suggested edits? If not, please could I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So the minutes are approved unanimously. Item number 5, applications to be received and if complete will be scheduled for the February 23rd, 2026 regular meeting. We actually have no new applications. So let's move on to item 7. We had to defer our site visit of Waveney Park because of the snow. So we'd like to reschedule that. Ms. Holland, what date were you looking at for the site visit?
With the additional snow, I figured we probably should push ourselves all the way back to possibly February 18th, if that's possible. Our meeting this month is 1 week later due to the holidays, so February 23rd would be the meeting date. So we would be able to go out possibly on February 18th. I don't know if that's a vacation week or travel week for folks, but throw that first date out.
So can you raise your hand if you could make February the 18th, and we'll see if we can count up. I see me, I see Miss Owsley, Mr. Redden has his hand down. Mr. Williams has his hand up. Miss Sanford has her hand up. So that's 4.
And Adam.
Oh, and Adam, I'm sorry. So that's 5. So we would have a quorum.
At 7:30?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that work? Okay, let's go for it and hope there isn't too much snow.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, so
That's the 17th, correct?
No, sorry, the 18th, Wednesday.
Okay, Wednesday, 18th. Sorry, thank you.
yes, Wednesday 18th. So let's mark our calendars, and if Miss Holland wouldn't mind having a calendar invitations sent out tomorrow, that would be great.
We'll
Thank
do that.
you. So let's move on. And now we're going to open the regular meeting. Item number 8, application number 53-677 South Avenue, Town of New Canaan, Waveney Park. Waveney Park Conservancy is requesting to remove approximately 50 10-inch diameter or larger Norway maple trees and selective shrubbery in the adjoining areas to the north, east, and south of the existing Anderson Pond and replant with native species in the spring of 2026. Stone steps and additional sections of footpaths will also be added to provide better viewing access to the pond. So we don't have a presentation this evening, and what I'd like us to discuss is whether we should have a public hearing for this item. Traditionally, when anything has been proposed within Waveney Park as the town's largest park, we have held a public hearing because the matter is of public interest, and we are permitted to do that under the regulations. So I would like to propose that we have a public hearing at our next regular meeting for this particular application. But happy to have a discussion on this.
I mean, I would just to throw it out is we haven't seen, is that where our site visit's gonna be?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's an uncontroversial thing that they're doing. So does that mean that we still need a public hearing for it?
Well, the public hearing would be part of the next regular meeting, and it wouldn't mean that we couldn't actually come to a decision on the application on that evening. It doesn't necessarily make it a 2-meeting application, and it may be that no one will come forward. But with Waveney, there are there's a lot of interest by residents about what is done in Waveney, and in the interests of having as much communication with residents and being accessible to their point of view, we've always felt in the past that we should give them the opportunity to express an opinion if they have one.
Okay, I understand that.
I hear Beth's point, but I think the precedent is a good one. It's a good habit. It's a good precedent, and it's just good practice.
I mean, it could work out that nobody shows up, and then
Totally.
we've gotten our answer there. So
Yep.
Yeah. At least they've been given the opportunity to do
Right.
so.
Right.
So
It is a big public space, and it is the precedent. I think Angela and Katie, I think are correct.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, does somebody want to make a motion for a public hearing to be held at our next regular meeting? I'll make the motion. There we go.
I'll
Seconds.
second it.
You got 2 seconds.
Okay, well, we'll take
Dan,
Dan, thank you for seconding. All those in favor, please raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That is passed unanimously. We'll have a public hearing at our next meeting. So the next items is the agent's report and the administrative actions that Ms. Holland has taken. Would you like to fill us in on anything in relation to the 2 that are listed there?
Well, after the holidays, people are turning their attention back to their properties, and we're starting to get in some additional involved permits for new construction activities. These ones happen to be pool related. One is a pool house and one is a pool. So yeah, just 2 administrative wetland applications for those projects there. They were reviewed by all staff, and I issued the permit probably I feel like it was in mid-December, most likely, or end of December on those.
Does anybody have any questions or observations? Okay, well, let's move on to item number 11, which is just to take up again the discussion that we started in December about what we could do to try and improve awareness amongst New Canaan residents that they might have wetlands in on their property, and that if they think they could have, they should get in touch with Miss Holland to discuss any plans that they may have for activities in their backyard. And people came up with some great ideas, and they were going to research certain things. I'm going to turn first to Mr. Redden, who talked to IT, and he sent round his email again. Maybe you could just remind us on what you discovered about the town's capability as far as the website's concerned.
Sure. So very easy if they will take direction from employees, so staff members, Director Holland. So Kathleen wants to change the website, or we talk to her about changing content on the website. What happens is, we all determine, hey, what we want it to say or not say. Kathleen checks with council. Assuming it works, we can change our content on the website, but that's the text content. We also explored chatbots. If I looked at 8 towns in Fairfield County, there's only one that has a chatbot. It's Greenwich. Our software platform does have the capability. A number of people in the last couple of years have asked about chatbots. It's not just for inland wetlands. It would have to be for the entire website of the town, and it's a software update, and then about $3,000, and it's an annual subscription, which is about the cost of the website itself. So people have asked about it. If we wanted to push for that, we'd have to figure out, is it that important? Number one, and number two, where would the money come from? And we'd have to pitch it, I guess, to the selectmen and the Board of Finance. So the short answer is, we were asked, can we do chatbots? The answer is yes. It's a cost.
I'm sorry, could you just say again what the cost would be?
It's $3,000
per year.
One time, and
One
then
time.
about $3,000 a year after that. It's a license, it's a subscription.
Right.
The website is under $3,000, hosting and updating it on an annual basis for the software platform.
Sandy, so it sounds like you were making 2 recommendations. One is to increase the content.
No, I'm not making any recommendations. I was just fact finding. So
Right.
the question a few meetings ago was,
Right.
there were a number of questions. The question about the website was, 1, can we change it? And 2, chatbots, right? So can we change it? We can't change the website, but we can change what our part of the website says, if we want to match what other inland wetlands pieces of town websites say. So we can change the content in there as far as text.
And
So
you
that's
said,
I'm not saying we should. I think it reads
Okay, well,
fine.
I heard the content. So just so you know, my profession is in digital marketing, and I help people build their websites. I know all about chatbots. I was not here on the December meeting, so I couldn't contribute to the discussion. But
We're talking about search engine optimization, which I think is a waste of time
I
for
think
inland
that's a waste for a town
Okay.
like
We were
Canaan.
talking about chatbots. So I looked at 8 towns.
Right,
and
right.
I
I
found-
understand about chatbot. I mean, if we want people to be aware of what inland wetlands does and why it's important and why we have to regulate, then it would be creating some content like blogs and talking about it or personal experiences. But
Sure,
the chatbot is
that's
more
time
than
and money.
$3,000 if you put the time, because you've got to have somebody that's going to program. You ask a question about this, you have to have a knowledge bank, you have to, I mean, there's a lot of human resources that need to be put against creating a chatbot that would,
Right.
and I think, I mean,
Yeah,
know,
because
I mean, I'm not
only are
saying,
you
I'm
paying
not
for
saying
the software, you're creating the questions and the answers, and where's it going
Right,
to
right. There's a lot of that's involved. But I do think that the overall challenge that we have is that there are people, we have so many people that come with violations because they have no idea that they're supposed to be clearing things through the inland wetlands and going to Kathleen and talking about, can they build a pool right inside of a wetland, so whatever they're doing. So I think there is a, a benefit of creating a greater awareness of of why wetlands are important, and it even goes back to what Dan was saying earlier about climate change. I mean, just educating people about the value that wetlands bring in terms of mitigating climate change. And there's a lot of things. And do we want to ask volunteers to write some articles about it that would be posted somewhere in terms of what you have learned about being able to put text up? I mean, that would be in the form probably of an article or a blog that would be, associated with the inland wetlands part of the website. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a need, but the question is where the resources are going to come, and a lot of it is just human time.
Yeah, I mean, I think chatbots are a nice idea, but I suspect we'll only end up with chatbots if there are other areas of town government think that they're important. Does anybody want to, press forward with the idea of chatbots?
My only thought on that is, Sandy, you said it's 3,000 for the whole website per year rather than inland wetlands specifically?
Yeah, so the website, the platform
Uh-huh.
that we pay for, and the hours that we pay for, the entire website is under $3,000.
Yeah.
The software update it's an attachment. So the add-on for a chatbot is $3,000 one time, and then it was just under $3,000 a year because it's a software subscription. The platform doesn't have chatbots; it's an add-on.
So if everybody else, other commissions and departments if they did it all as well, it would still be the $3,000? I guess that's more my question.
No, the $3,000 is for chatbots,
Uh,
the entire website.
Yep.
You either get them for the website,
uh-huh.
get them. You can't get them for one piece of the website.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if that cost is 3,000 divided over the whole town, it makes it a lot smaller per se, our portion of it.
It
If
is.
everybody, that would
It
be a bigger
is.
conversation, I suppose, to see if for somebody else to decide within town to
So-
whether we need or
Step
want
back.
it.
We're trying to cut the budget and trim
Yeah.
things, and we're
Mhm.
asking for a software lease that's
Yeah.
more expensive than the entire website. Okay.
I think if we were going to press for this, we'd have to have some very clear ideas about what we wanted this chatbot to do, and how extensive the question and answers and discussion capability would be. We can't just go and ask for $3,000.
Angela, here's what's going to happen. AI is fast replacing a lot of this. This will be a lot less expensive and probably part of our software upgrade in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't think this is something we should spend a lot of time on. We certainly don't have the budget. The meeting was about marketing inland wetlands and getting the word out so people understand. There's differences of opinion here on whether we should be marketing it or not. And then the question was, what can we do on the website? So we can change the website if we want to, content, right? Just
Okay.
end it there. I think
Well,
we
what-
should really focus the conversation instead of spending time on chatbots and the cost of this. We're not doing it. That's a
Well,
fact.
let's
Hang on,
table.
hang on,
Let's
hang on.
table. No, let's table chatbots for now in the interest
Here's
of
what we need
time.
to discuss, Angela. Do we care about marketing inland wetlands and getting community outreach? And if so, what is that about and how do we do it? Things like articles, so we can talk about community outreach. That was the goal. The website was just one item on that goal.
Right. So we're going to go around the table and see what anybody else has come up with, ideas or research. One thing I said I would look into was using Welcome Wagon to provide a flyer to new residents. That would cost $47 a month. And I mean, it's a business. And, you know, it would be together with all the other bumps that new residents receive. And they're probably going to be more interested in, you know, where can I find a carpenter or a plumber than, you know, I may have wetlands in my backyard. So I don't personally see that as a great way forward to increase awareness. What does anybody else kind of come up with?
I think library program we had discussed briefly, but that seems like a low cost, fairly simple thing to put forward. And if I am correct, the way we talked about it last is how do we improve our information, one, and then how do we market that we have said information? So I do think it's worth doing the low cost. Let's just improve the text on the website.
Yeah.
And then the question is, would anyone come to a library presentation? On the plus side, they do have a really extensive mailing list. So even if people didn't come, it would at least get the
Backdoor
the
attention.
phraseology in people's minds a little bit.
So it sounds like you would suggest that we focus first on improving the text on the website, Katie.
I would, yeah.
Yeah.
Angela?
Yeah.
This is Dan. In the right before Christmas, I talked to an experienced a land use person here in Fairfield County. And we talked in terms of what and he's been working with a lot of other wetlands commissions in Fairfield County. And I asked him, what are some of the other commissions doing? He said, well, I'll give you the names. And I won't give you the name of the person I talked to, but he's going to send me some names, and I'm going to talk to them, and I'll check their websites to see what they're doing. He said he really gave me a priority list of who I should contact first, and not at all. So he's pretty thorough, and he's pretty knowledgeable what's going on. So based on what the names he gave me and the calls and that, I'm going to attend the March meeting there. Coming back from Florida, attending the March meeting, so I should have something to present at that meeting. Okay, that's my goal. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, thank you for that. I think that would be great, and I think too, if you know, all of us could think about how we could enhance the website, what it is that we want to perhaps put up there, how we can attract attention. Kathleen, do you have any thoughts here?
Yes, just a couple things. I wanted to give the commissioners an update on January 13th. The Board of Realtors presentation, annual presentation, was done at Town Hall with the panel of land use folks, including myself, speaking to about 50 realtors. We had a great meeting. It flowed really nicely. I hit all the high points, and each of our sister agencies also, you know, tagged on to, you know, trying to provide education and outreach to the realtors. We were curious about the group we were speaking to, and you know, one of our initial questions was, you know, how many folks in the room have, you know, are new to real estate. So there was actually a fair amount of new realtors in the audience. So I really wanted to reach out to those folks and let them know all the services that we have here at Town Hall to provide education and frankly help them sell the properties that they're trying to sell. Be knowledgeable that there are wetlands on properties and things like that, or how to close out open permits. And we covered a whole bunch of ground in about a quick 45 minutes, but it was a very good meeting. So we did reach out to 50 plus folks at that point in time, so that was helpful. And there's almost not a day that goes by that I get today, as a matter of fact. I think I had 3 inquiries from folks looking to buy a piece of property in New Canaan and curious about the wetlands in the area on this particular piece. Our records at Town Hall through the town website, which is actually, it's really got a ton of information on it. Just have to be familiar with looking at it and knowing where to find those resources. We spent at Town Hall a lot of time with the realtors, kind of showing them how to work through these documents. They do everything remotely now, so they are getting a lot of information about the property right from Town Hall. A A2 survey with the field located wetlands on it. That's a verified certified wetlands report. So they get all of this information, may not understand it all. That's when they call me and we dive a little deeper into that particular property for their client. So there is a day-to-day exchange of information, which is helpful. We could probably look at the website for sure. I mean, when we first built the website, I'm not sure exactly how long we've had it. Everyone just tried to put their content on the best they could, pretty basic, at this point in time. We could jazz it up a little bit more to see if there's some other interesting videos or wording things that we put on the website. I think that's a great idea to, again, try to get the word out. Unfortunately, we will always have violations. It's just sort of the nature of the land use department. Each department always has violations. When we limit those and keep people out of trouble, sure, that'd be awesome. But they take a huge amount of time and potentially can do some serious damages to property and the wetlands. So just wanted to update you on. We didn't have the board of realtor meeting. I thought it went really well. Great feedback from the president, board president, and a couple of other realtors in the room.
Well, thank you for that update, Kathleen, and I'm glad that the meeting with the Board of Realtors went well. I think that they're an important resource for us to get the word out. But I would suggest, unless anyone objects to this, that we should focus on the town website first off to see if there are things that we can do to enhance the information that's available, the layout, etc. And I'd ask everybody to have a think about that and come up with suggestions. And then let's have another discussion back in March when Dan will have done some research on what other towns' websites contain on this. Does that sound like a reasonable plan, or do people have other ideas?
Sounds good.
Sounds reasonable and good to me.
Okay, so anything else anybody wants to raise? So I want to just thank you all for making yourselves available via Zoom this evening and for contributing to the discussion about the charter revision process. That's extremely helpful for everyone who's involved in that process. So thank you. So if there's nothing else to discuss, would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr.
I'll
Romero.
second it.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hey.
Okay, everyone. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Angela.
See you
Good
in
night.
person at the
Good night,
site
everybody.
visit and then in February for our meeting.
Aye.
Right.